This is really dramatic music.
Are you not? You didn't enjoy Waitbot's music? I mean,
I
come on,
I felt like we were having such a deep, meaningful moment right there. Like it sounded like something dramatic was happening.
well, yeah, it was
Eh,
like beautiful classical music on the piano
It,
being played and happening.
it really was. I was talking with the guys at the fire. I was in their meet and greet, and I was at their fireside, their chat the other day, and they were talking about the Waitbot music and how much they love it. We were talking about our favorite Waitbot songs, and I feel like we need to have like a poll. It's like, what is your favorite Waitbot song?
And they need names so we know what to call them for sure. I love that.
That is a really good
Hey,
point. I don't know what they're called. Hey, so good to
I don't
see
know. It's
you.
10 a.m. officially. Hello, Manissa. How are you?
Hello, Roxanne. I am good. How are you doing?
I am doing all right. Fancy meeting you here. It's been a while.
It has been a while. How was your trip?
Trip was good. Trip was Dallas. I went to Dallas, spoke at a convention there. I was in downtown Dallas, and I lived in Texas for 15, really 19 years. So there's some flashbacks there for sure of like, oh, this place and oh, that place. So it was fun to kind of go back, and it was awesome and to speak. And then I got on a plane last Sunday, and flew to Vancouver and spent a few days in Whistler. I'd never been to Whistler
Oh,
before.
wow.
Yeah, which included, like, going to the Scandinave spa, which is like the whole hydrotherapy where you go from a hot pool to a cold plunge pool to then room temperature relaxing. You do it all over again. You can't even speak, like, you can't have
Oh,
anything. Yeah. Hi,
yes.
Cindy. Yeah, yeah, so it was amazing, and now
How
I'm
was that?
back,
Hi, Cindy. It's so
and
good to see you.
I know, love her. And now I'm back and I leave again on Monday. So this is like a short stint to come back, see my dog. I'm gonna do a
You are a
puzzle
jet
today.
setter.
Yeah, it's a busy summer. I don't like the word busy. Excuse me. It's a full summer. Because everyone's busy. Busy means nothing because we've all made
Full.
it mean nothing. Yeah. So, but last week,
That is such a
hello,
good point.
you had the fantastic and wonderful tearing up my heart, tearing so on with you.
Oh my God, she was amazing. She came in to watch, and then like we pulled her up on stage and we started talking, and we had never met before. She and I had never had a conversation before, and we just dove into like talking about deep, meaningful things. We were pulling out our childhood traumas. Like it was
What?
amazing.
I haven't watched it. I need to go back and watch the replay, but that's on my list. I want to watch the replay because I cannot wait to see it. And warm my heart. She's like, by the way, I was on the show with Minis. I'm like, you were? That's amazing. I love that.
It happened totally by accident, really, really organically. So it was super fun. It was super fun. We should have her
Time
on
out.
again as a guest in the future.
Absolutely. Time out. Nothing. I've invited her before and she said no, but she'll go on with you. So I think we can make it happen. But nothing is an accident. You said it's accidental. Nothing is a coincidence. Nothing is accidental.
It's
Just
so
wanted to put
true.
that
It
out
is
there.
so true. It always seems like an accident. Let's put it that way. It seems like because you're so right. Because right now, as I look at my life and how things have come together, and I look back and I think, in the last few months, even I'm like, wow, nothing is by chance. Everything is moving according to some. I don't. I may not know what this cosmic plan is, but somebody's got something.
Yeah, and it'd be interesting for those of you who are inside of the studio audience right now, or maybe you're watching on YouTube. And wait a moment, Facebook might actually be working today as well too. I don't want to chance it, but it could be. Um, do you agree with that? Do you feel like there's coincidences, or do you feel like nothing in life is a coincidence? I would love to know,
I
and you
would
can
be
even
very curious to hear that.
and just to remind you as well too, if you're in the audience, you're like, I don't want to speak, Roxanne, but I have an opinion. You can click and use these little emojis, like, and also connect. So just I want to remind you that that is an option, as well
One
to
other thing,
talk to
last
us.
week we
Yeah.
talked about this that I remember that if you're watching us on YouTube or Facebook, if you click on it, it'll bring you into the app and then you can actually join the chat from the app and then you can come up on stage if you want to. Yeah?
Oh, so cool, so cool. I
How
love
will
that.
people let us know if they want to come on stage? How do they let us know that?
It tells us like I get an update, and you would get an update. Yeah, it
Oh,
pops
how
up. It's like,
cool.
yeah, it's like someone has
Sweet.
requested. So that is
Sweet.
a thing. It says I'm simulcasting in both places, but I don't believe it, and I'm not going to worry about it today. That is on my list to figure out in the future. So yeah, I'm just curious.
Me
Do you
too.
guys think that things are a coincidence? I don't think that life is full of coincidences, and I like knowing that I'm intentional and that my life is intentional. That makes me
Hmm.
it make It helps you feel seen even when you feel like no one sees you.
Yes. Oh my God, that is such a great way of saying that.
Right?
Because there is a feeling that I don't know how to articulate what it is. Like, I don't know, but I know that there's a feeling there. That's exactly it. That the feeling that it's like, okay, I am, I exist. You know what? There was in the movie Stepmoms, Susan Sarandon, she's dying of cancer and she's
It's
talking
such a
about,
good movie. Julia
oh, so
Roberts,
good. And I
right?
love Julia Roberts and Susan Sarandon. And Susan Sarandon says that she thinks that a lot of people get married because they want someone to be a witness to their life. And that always really stuck with me is that I think that as human beings, we want there to be a witness, right? Even if it's like of something, of us. And so knowing that there's somebody or something out there that's just witnessing your life in a way that other people can't, I think it's something very comforting about that.
Mm. You know, that has me thinking, um, that witness. When I was flying from Dallas that early morning to Vancouver, Canada, I was in the long, like, security line, and there was a young lady wearing a shirt that said, "Love like," I think it was like Lillian. And it hit me because that last time I've seen that phrase was when Bob Saget passed away this year. Um, and they were making shirts saying "Love like Bob" or "Hug like Bob" or "Love like Bob." Forgive me if I get that wrong. And Bob Saget was one of the original, actually, um, creators on Fireside. Interesting tidbit. Um, but I
Oh,
just
I didn't
thought to
know
my
that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I think you can still watch some of his shows are still on replay here. And his wife, also contributor. I don't know if she's done any new shows. That was a bit of a rabbit hole. But where I'm going with that is when I saw her shirt and it triggered the thought of Bob Saget and what at least that shirt meant when they were making those shirts for him was I thought to myself for just really quickly, I thought, wow, I wonder, not to be like morbid or serious, but maybe to be morbid and serious, that legacy piece of things, like when you're gone, will people remember you? And how long will they remember you? And will you have made an impact in the world in general?
That is so powerful, and it's really strange. I feel like you and I are connected because, like, seriously, my therapist and I were just talking about this, about how sometimes it feels like the kind of work that we want to do is just, it's very heavy, it's a lot of work, and it's sometimes you feel like it's just insurmountable. And she said that, she says, you know, that in her culture, they talk about the work that you do now having an impact on 7 generations in the future. So you're doing this to have an impact on 7 generations in the future. And that was such an interesting concept to me because it made me feel like, you know, everyone has a little part to play, right? And we all take our steps and we all make those changes, you know, as we can and as we go. And sometimes the people who are right after us will pick up where we left off, and that creates that legacy. Even if they don't know that we're the ones that had anything to do with it, the impact is still felt, you know,
Yeah.
generations in the future.
Yeah. Well, do me a favor and ask your therapist this question. Ask her if we, you and I, collectively don't have kids, are we still making that 7 layers of impact? Because the
You know what? I
most
did ask her that because
Oh,
I
good.
don't have children.
And I know
I did ask
neither
her
do
that.
I. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So, and she said that, first of all, she said, you know, we are genetically just part of the world. So, being part of the world, we are a part of the world and we are impacting the world for the future. So, and so that was the first one, is that, like, just because we're not choosing to have children or cannot have children, or whatever the reason may be for anyone who chooses not to or who can't, it is really about the world that you're in now, how you impact that, and how you are impacting the world for people beyond you. Because I think that even though we're not having children, we're not nihilistic in that we're like, well, we're not having children, let's just go destroy the earth because, you know, because we're not having kids. Like, it didn't
I
become
do
like
think people think that, though. I do think people who have kids sometimes think like, "Oh, they don't have kids. They're just gonna do whatever. They don't care." Like, I'm working on my carbon footprint for I don't know who, someone who's coming after me. What are you talking about? Like, I'm drinking out of a
that's
glass
exactly
bottle,
it.
okay? Yeah.
That's actually what I'm. That's exactly what I'm trying to say. Is like, just because we're not having kids doesn't mean we're like, damn the world, let's just blow it all up.
Right,
It's
right.
we still are impacting those generations because we have sisters, we have friends, we have brothers, we are trying. For us, it's there. We may have a different impetus, like it's making us do it. We're not maybe not necessarily doing it for our children directly, but we are doing it to make the world a better place. And I think for a lot of us who try to do that, we think that it's all on our shoulders, and we have to remember that we're part of a chorus of change makers. Not we're not some people maybe come out with a solo, but we don't have to be the soloist. Sometimes you can have a huge impact just as part of the chorus.
So I'm glad you made it musical because the second you started talking and saying this, you said, "We are the world." I'm like, "We are the world. We are the children." Do you remember the song?
We
We
are
are the
the
one to make a
children.
brighter day.
Oh
So
my God, are
let's
you kidding
start
me? It's big
giving.
up play. So let's start giving.
There's a choice
There's a
we're
choice we're
making.
making.
We're saving our own
Do
lives.
I remember
Let's
this?
start make a better day. Just you and me. I couldn't help myself. Um,
Oh my God,
but I
dude, I
do.
love that song.
And you know, we didn't know we're gonna go where we're going today, but I almost wonder if it's a little bit more altruistic because I'm not doing it for my kids or my grandkids because there are no kids or grandkids. I'm just doing,
Right.
like whatever the reason, as long as it's good, it's
I'm just
fine.
doing
But
it out of the goodness of my heart, not for anybody's kid.
right, right, exactly.
Basically, I'm just a better human being. That's
This
really
is
what it
what my
is.
point was. Now you've got it. Absolutely.
I got it.
So my summer activity is basically traveling. What are you up to? Why are you in the car? Everyone's wondering what's going on.
So my husband and I were sitting on we were sitting on the porch as much as we could sit on the porch because so we have the deck that's out in the sun. It's beautiful, it's wonderful, but the sun is very beating and we can't actually sit anywhere or do anything. So even though we have this great outdoor space, we can't use it. And so we wanted to get a patio set so that we could, just sit and do things. Do you have any idea how hard it is to find a patio set? Like we walked into this place just now. It reminded me of Pretty Woman. You know that store she walked into where they're like, yeah, we won't serve that one. We won't help you. Like she was very nice and
Yeah.
sweet, but it had that level of shishi in it. Where I walked in and I was like, you're too shishi for me. Like this. Whoa, what was that sound?
I don't know. I
Do you
did
hear
a
that sound?
smiley face, and
And I heard a
I did a
hey.
smiley face.
I
I
was
went,
like a hey,
"Hey,"
and I'm
like it
like,
was picking you up or
like
something. That was a little
I know.
weird.
I'm like, hey, how you doing? So we're here. So we went in. I literally I messaged Roxanne and I was like, all right, I'm gonna go in there. I'm gonna look at the patio furniture. Then I'll take a break and do this fireside, and then I'll go back in and finish. No, we were in there for 3 minutes. I was like, I knew the second I walked in there. I'm like, yep, nope, my gut. I listened to my gut authority, like my sacral
Good,
authority, and it was like,
good.
nope. But I continued to walk around just because I didn't just want to walk right out. And Alex had to catch up to my gut. And he walked around, and then I was like, okay, I'm done walking around. We're done. We're leaving. So we're sitting in the car waiting to go to the next place that is way more my speed, way more cash. That's what I'm looking for. It's just casual hanging out. I'm not looking for something that's gilded in gold.
Oh wow, yeah. For the outside by the sea, that wouldn't be good anyway. But I love that. So your summer activity is really going to be like hanging out by the beach outside.
That's my thing is I want to sit out by the beach and I want to be able to do my art sitting outside. So I want to be able to draw sitting outside, but the sun is just I can't see any screens and I can't really do anything. So my summer activity is going to be really just I want to spend time for the first time in my life drawing and just drawing.
Nice. Are you going to draw like the water? What's the plan?
I think I'm going to draw cartoons and comics because you know how have you ever seen those feel good comics that a lot of people have Instagram accounts now where they make their comics or they make their feel good art like positively present or the self I don't know she changed her name recently but the self love rainbow, just this really happy little Instagram feeds that are full of color that are just you look at them and they make you feel happy. That's what I
Hmm.
want to do. I want my Instagram feed to be the kind of place people come and the colors make them happy, the things they see make them feel better. Like I'm trying to move more into a creator space where I am creating more because for so many years I felt like I didn't have any talent. I was like, oh, I have the soul but no talent, and then I just realized recently that's a story I'm telling myself. So I'm trying to explore
Did
this
you
new side of
really
me. So
say
I
to
have no idea
yourself
what
for
it's going to
years?
become.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry, time out. And we have a delay, so forgive me for interrupting you. But did you really just say you have a soul but no talent? You told yourself that?
Since I was 18, I have not drawn since I was 18 or 20. I haven't done anything because I didn't think I had any talent at all. That
That
just goes
may
to show you people don't listen to the stories you tell yourself. Because
seriously.
Roxanne is trying to recover from this right now.
I am. I'm having some serious like
You
that.
just thought I knew how to do it.
Well, I mean, you're hella talented, so that is amazing that you told yourself that. But I mean, do you know, like, you told yourself for decades that you had a soul, but you had no talent,
A soul of an artist, the soul of an artist,
but
but no
but no
talent of an
talent. So then you
artist.
just didn't draw.
Yeah, I just didn't do anything. Nothing artistic. I just stopped.
I need a moment, because I'm thinking about what that did to you, and I'm thinking about that what that does to, like, these are the things that we do to ourselves on a regular basis, right? Like, we are
Yep.
our own worst critic. And I don't even know if it's us. I think it's what we think that society says about us or how society would judge us. I was told one day I couldn't sing, and like since then, I've stopped like singing as much. I sing a lot. I've broken through that bullshit, but like I don't know, that hits me in a spot where I just think, golly, I think that I'm in this journey with human design, all the things about like figuring out who I am and not caring what the world thinks of who I am. And when I hear you say that you were like, I'm a soul, like I'm soul of an artist, but I have no talent. Who decides who has talent? Who decides? I mean, who decides whose art is artistic and is quality? We do that to ourselves so much. And I'm on a soapbox right now and I'll get off, but I'm just like, I don't know. I guess I would say to anyone listening or watching the replay or watching right now, if there's something in your life that were passionate about when you were younger and it was your jam and it was your thing and you were told you weren't good at it, or you told yourself you weren't good at it, it's time to like dust off the cobwebs and say, no, I'm like a badass at that. I'm going to get back into doing it because there's something there. There's a reason that you loved it so much, and I feel like there was a gift that you were meant to give the world in some way based on that thing that you loved. I'll stop now.
Du- Dude, I'm deliberately staying quiet till you say you're stopping because I know we have a little bit of a delay, but I can't even tell you. I'm so glad you said that because you're the human design is what really brought me to this space. Is like I've been really, Roxanne. Anytime I feel stuck, Roxanne's like, what does your human design say? And I go back to like thinking about what is the message that comes in there. And the truth is that my message said is making me feel the same way, that I don't care what other people think. It's really about like what is true to me. And I'm going to share something on my personal profile today. I'll send it to you also, Roxanne. It's a video that Ethan Hawke did about creativity where he talks about exactly that. It is such a beautiful video that talks about how when people are not creating, they're stifling themselves, and there's so much about themselves that's then being hidden and shameful that doesn't need to be. I'll share it. It's a and I started crying while I was watching it, and Alex was like, "It's very timely for you." So it's, and your voice, by the way, is beautiful. So that is actually the message that I really wanted. Thanks, Jen. That I really wanted everybody to sort of like. I guess as we're talking about this, we didn't plan on talking about this, but as long as it came out, this, if you look at my, when I look at what I create now, I'm like, oh my god, like I know I have talent, right? And whether I did or didn't, that's not even the point. I enjoyed making it, but someone at some point told me that, and then when they weren't around, I decided to tell myself that story because they weren't around to tell me that story, and so I just simply didn't draw because I told myself that story. So there's a lot of stories you may be telling yourself that you were just, you're positive or real, and they're not. Just tell a different one. Like, it's
Just tell
amazing,
a
you could
different one.
just tell a different story.
Yeah, I love that. Just tell a different one. You can totally tell yourself a different story. And that story you tell is so freaking powerful. I feel like we all need to go back and like look at kids in their innocence and just watch them for a little while and like feel that moment, because that fearlessness. I mean, I remember when I was little, we used to swing on the swing. And I remember I would wait till I was at the like what swing was at the very highest, and then I would jump off. Now I think of that, I'm like, that is insane. Why was I jumping off a perfect, like a swing onto the ground? No, hard ground. And I thought it was so much fun. And I think about like the things I do now, being in Whistler, and people are talking about skiing, and I'm like, that's nuts. This could happen to me. This could be happening. And I'm like, wait, why am I so worried about these things, these bad things that could happen, and not enjoying what about the great things that could happen, if that's the story I tell myself and that's the way that I go.
Dude, I'm going to tell you, I need you to get out of your house and go swing because I started swinging about, I don't know, five
What
weeks
kind of
ago.
swinging did you do, Minnesota? I need to
Not the
know.
sexual
Like,
swing. I know. I realize that me being who I am, you really need, I know. I
we need
understand this now.
clarification.
You need context. Yes, no,
Totally.
this is not the sex swinging. This is like actual
Okay.
on a
Fair enough.
swing in a playground. Um, but my therapist suggested it, and I resisted it for a while, and I went. And I'll tell you something. What you're talking about is something that I've only today I had a huge like download in my brain of like kids are in the moment. They don't spend their time thinking about I'm going to design this and I'm going to do this and then this for that. And I'm like, you know what? That's what I want in my life. Like when somebody says, "What does Manessa want?" Manessa wants to be living in the moment. And so, and it started when I got on the swing. And I'll tell you something. You get on that swing, Roxanne, you're going to get that feeling coming right back because after swinging for 3 weeks, guess what I'm doing tomorrow? I'm going ziplining. And I'm doing that because that's the next level of that level of surrender and freedom where I'm like, you know what? I'm going to go and I'm going to inhale and enjoy every minute of it because I'm going to live in that moment.
Good for you. There's never a time, just if anyone's listening going, "Oh, but it's too late for me." It's not there's that's not a thing. The too late is when you're actually dead, and if you're listening to this, you're still alive. Just saying. So there, find your swing, and whatever your swing is, like, go do that thing and feel that youth and all those things again, because I think it makes a huge difference. We're going through, so my human design coach, and I don't understand it all yet, so know that. So I'm not going to go into like the depths of that, but she said something that is really resonating with me, where we are like heading towards a period of time just in the world where we're very focused on the individual and not the collective, which
Hmm.
could be good and could, like, you can take that in different ways, right? But I take some of that to mean that we're starting to like go back and go, wait a moment, I don't need to be a lemming. I don't need to be like everyone else. What is it that makes me Roxanne and makes me Ness and makes us all whoever we are? And what would it be like if we leaned into that and we leaned into being different and celebrating those differences as opposed to all trying to be the very, very same?
Oh, love that so much. It's we are like I think we're figuring out that we can provide more being who we are. Like we can be of service more and show up better when we are being true to ourselves. And I think that's really like the authenticity and the honesty to yourself. Because then I think you're creating then you're the community you create then is stronger. And I think we're starting to have a better understanding of how to create true community, right?
Mhm.
Because what's interesting is because we're so focused on it now, everybody's always talking about it, but that's not something we talked about a long time ago, right? But we talk about it so much now that I think we're really starting to understand, like, to get there, it requires a lot of this internal work.
Yeah, internal work. Oh boy. The stuff that we try and avoid. The big squishies, the stuff that we hide
Oh
down
my
that
god,
keeps coming up. Go ahead.
I'm so tired of self development. I'm
Well,
tired of growing as a
you either
person.
grow or you die. So what's your choice, Ness? Like, which one do you want?
I know. I know.
Right?
It's always, like whenever I'm like, oh my god, do I have to learn something now? And I'm like, okay, you know what? If the only other option is staying stagnant or dying, and all right, well, bring it on. Let's
Yeah.
do it.
Yeah.
And then you just ride the wave.
Oh, the wave. You do. You ride the wave. I'm laughing because we were supposed to be talking about some very quality things today, y'all. Like, for example, Miss Marvel and Bachelorette breakup that happened last night, announced last night. Those were like the deep, and here we are talking about like meteor things, and I'm good with that. Like, we go where it takes us. I do want to give time if anyone in the studio audience. I love saying that because it takes me back to like the 70s or
Yes.
the 80s. Like, where this was being broadcast in front of a live, recorded in front of a
Oh,
live studio
studio
audience.
audience. Yeah.
Does anyone have anything they want to say, any thoughts they want to bring up, all those things? If you tap on your image, it'll give you an opportunity to, I think that's where it is, to pop up on stage. And we want to give you guys time to do that because this is an interactive platform. And while we're doing that,
I'm
can I
actually
just,
really excited of time. No, go ahead.
oh no, I was gonna say, I love your mohawk. You switched your hair since I saw you last.
Thank you. Well, I've been waiting for it to grow. That's the problem is it had to grow out and it was just taking a really long time to grow out. And while it was in the in-between phase, I looked kind of like Robert De Niro from Taxi Driver. I looked like a dead animal was on my head. Like there were just a lot of looks that I wasn't a fan of. So we're now finally at a stage where I can get my hair up again. And I'm very grateful. I'm so
I
grateful.
like it. I like it.
So
It looks
thank you.
good. It looks good. I'm digging it. Doesn't look like anyone has any questions or anything they want to say. Okay. I want to give you that, and you have that time as we keep talking. I just want you guys to feel you are part of this conversation and all the things. Ness, what else do you want to add?
I want to add that as we go through, I was on a fireside chat with the fireside creators this week, and I just wanted to let our studio audience know, and because I know that you were in the air at the time, that we talked a lot about like the community building aspects of fireside and the kinds of features that they have coming as time goes on. And they are really their whole purpose is, like you said, to create an environment where we have a studio audience that gets to interact more. So a lot of these things are going to get easier to find, easier for like. So this is definitely if you're watching us on a place that is not Fireside, click on the link and come follow us on Fireside. Follow me and follow Roxanne so that when we go live, you'll get notified here because you'll be able to participate. And it's so much more fun to be here. You can clap, you can do a laugh track, you can even come up on stage.
Yes, you can. I was watching a show about a cooking show. I don't cook. But man, the cooking shows on Fireside, they're so good. I'm like, oh, and they have all the different angles and whatnot. And I was like, oh, I love it. Yeah, it was just, there's everything on here. There's not just cooking, but if you like cooking shows, there's some really great cooking shows on here for sure.
I'm gonna check some out now. I'm going looking for some cooking shows because I want to try to
Oh my gosh,
watch
you have
more on
to.
Fireside now because I do enjoy it. Thank you, Jen. Nice. She's loving the cooking shows.
Jen is a creator here on Fireside, by the way. I have watched her shows before. She's kind of a BA badass. Can I say that? I said it. It's done.
Of course you can. It's our show. We
Because
can say what we
BA
want.
sounds like what bachelor's
A
associate degree.
bachelor.
So
She's such a
yeah,
bachelor of the arts. Like she really is the best of them all.
is
Really.
the best, absolutely amazing. Okay, well, I think I guess we'll wrap up for the day. What do you think?
We will wrap
Anything
up.
else you
Yeah.
wanted to
No, I
add?
think we had a great. No, I think we had a great. I love our conversation today. I love it. We had a list of things and talked about none of them, which is I always love it when that happens. Oh yeah.
Is Taryn celebrating that we're going to be done? It's like, oh, great, they're done. No, I'm just kidding. Hey, Taryn, it's good to see you.
Well, that's the
Yeah,
I can't dance music, so that's good.
I do love that music. And I agree with you. Like, and every day, every week when we meet y'all, we have things we will maybe talk about, but based on what you want to talk about or what pops up when we're having a conversation, that's kind of where we're going to go. And I love doing that. So thank you for being with us. We'll see you next week. I'm going to be gone again. I know, ridiculous, but Manissa, I don't know what craziness you're going to have going on.
I'll be in
but I can't wait to
studio
watch
though.
it. Oh, fine.
Oh, it's
Be in
gonna be fun. Maybe I'll
studio.
get Taryn up on stage again.
There you go. That'd be great.
Awesome. It's so much fun to hang out.
Yeah. Okay. Let me invite the Waitbot on. Any bets on what music the Waitbot's about to play? Here it comes. I hope it's
I
like
think
the
it's gonna be
R&B.
that
Like,
groovy music, like the
I hope
that
so.
one. I think it's
Yeah.
gonna be that one. Let's see. All right, wait, what do you got? No, this is something else.
No. Like a marching band.
I don't know what this is.
It is what. Well,
This is not
is he
groovy.
gonna
I don't know what this is.
oh.
Okay.
Okay.
There we go. Yeah. Now I'm feeling it. Yeah.
I feel like I'm in